You're listening to the Spondifferous podcast. This one's called Big Box Idea. Alternative titles for this episode include Shouldn't Life Be More Fun? What is procrastination? Oh, and this one's a little interesting. You're open parentheses, not close parentheses, doing it wrong. Alright, here's the episode.
I woke up 2 hours ago and I'm still in bed. That's a note that I wrote for myself. Here, I thought it was so important laying in bed and I didn't get up or do anything about it. I grabbed my phone and I wrote a note. What is that?
So did you get up after you wrote the note?
I don't think I did for at least another 20 or 30 minutes.
You decided to keep procrastinating, doing whatever
That
you
is,
need to do.
yeah. I feel like there's got to be somebody out there that relates with the idea of just loving bed so much. That's me.
Yeah. I mean it's hard to like get going if you're not doing anything.
I mean, plus all these other things with your adult life that get in the way of like, well, I'm not going to eat so much cereal anymore because I'm an adult. So you don't have as many things to look forward to. Why get out of bed?
That's true. Yeah. If you don't have anything that you actually want to do that day, it's like, why would you bother doing something that day?
I think we already have the solution for this, for procrastination. You just eat more cereal.
Yeah. Peanut butter crunch.
You have something to get up in the morning and enjoy.
Yeah.
Everyone likes cereal.
I know you're not a coffee guy, but I saw one thing the other day that was like, sometimes I go to bed earlier just because it means when I wake up, I can get to coffee sooner.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel bad for him.
Yes,
Not a coffee guy.
That's
no.
a bit excessive.
Yeah, I think that's all right. You know, if you love coffee, you love coffee, whatever. But this is a larger conversation about procrastination, and procrastination takes on many forms and affects all of us, I would think. If it doesn't affect you, congratulations, you're a superhero. You are amazing.
Let us know how you do it.
Pat on the back.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to proceed to talk about the rest of us, the people that do procrastinate. Tanner, what are some ways that you procrastinate?
Well, a lot of times I procrastinate when, like, one of the biggest reasons that I procrastinate is because I feel like I'm not sure why I should be doing what I need to be doing. And I also don't know if it's worth doing. And so rather than getting things done that will actually move my life forward, a lot of times a way that I'll procrastinate is I'll do something that I call maintenance, which is...
Maintenance.
Yeah, which is like cleaning or doing the dishes or doing laundry. It's like you hear people all the time be like, oh, I had a really productive day today. And like those are the things they list out. And that's great. That's stuff that needs to get done. But more and more I try to like reshift my mind to not think of those things as productive because that's actually not moving my life goals forward. It's just getting maintenance done.
That's a great thought. I often procrastinate because of that, not knowing maybe what I'm supposed to be doing, which is funny because 2 days ago, maybe, right, I would write down what I'm supposed to do. How do you lose that? I mean, every day when you go to bed, you seem to wake up and you're like, oh, now what?
Yeah.
For some reason, it resets all the time.
Yeah. You could go to bed and be like, tomorrow's going to be a good day.
Yeah. And then wake up and be like, what day is it?
Yeah, you wake up and you're like,
Maybe not
okay,
that extreme.
You wake up and you're like, okay, I wrote down what I need to do, but like, is that actually what I need to be doing? One, and like, how do I even do it? Like, will it actually move me forward? And you just start asking yourself questions over and over rather than actually getting the thing done that you said you would do.
So I want to pose a question. How do you beat procrastination? And there's a lot of answers to this. And I only think we should try to tackle maybe one or two. And that right there was one kind of beginner way to do something, like the night before you write out your plan for tomorrow.
Right.
Or in the morning you write out your plan for the day. I've heard tons of successful people talk about that stuff. And I think it would be very helpful. I haven't done a whole lot of that myself.
Yeah, I've done a mixture of it, of just... trying to have it, like, I also love having as many things on the to-do list as possible so that as I write and I scratch things off, it feels like I'm being more productive.
These are like really,
So it's like trying to build momentum.
These are great ways to tackle procrastination for stand-up people. I'm like way over here on the opposite end where I hear those things. I think they're great.
And
I
you're just
think
like,
they
oh,
sound
cool.
good. And then this is what my brain came up with today when we were thinking about this.
I love this.
The first thing, yeah, I immediately blurted this out to Tanner like as if I was
You like
brilliant.
snapped your fingers like, I got it.
It was instant for me. You spend so much of your time. How did I start this? I said, it's 2021. What's different between us in 2021 and us in 1921? I think a large thing is this phone that's in my hand.
This little black brick.
Yeah, you can argue about whether or not it's a good thing that we have distractions like this or bad. I kind of am on the side of thinking
We
it's
both tend to
great.
think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I love it. Distraction or not, it's useful.
Yeah.
And adds so much to my life in a lot of ways. And it's just a piece that people can argue about, but it is a distraction. Whichever way you look at it, you pick it up all the time. First thing you do when you wake up, you pick it up. First thing you look at before going to bed, your phone. It's everywhere all the time. And I just thought, what if you just look at a guy, like you're people watching, right? You look at a guy that's sitting in a room on his phone for 4 hours, something you'd probably do if you're alone. So let's imagine you can look at that person, but they don't know you're there. Real creepy.
Yeah.
4 straight hours. They're looking at their phone. They're just in a room. Now let's imagine that phone isn't a phone in their hand, but it's like a little plate in their hand, like a small brick.
Yeah. It's just a clay brick right here.
Let's just take away the phone and just put a brick there. And just, what are they doing? They are sitting there hunched over, staring at a brick in their hand for 4 hours straight. In one sense.
They get like a raw thumb from scrolling.
Right. In one sense, that is kind of what we're doing. We're just staring at this thing, which is pretty odd and a really funny image to me. And I think that just for 10 minutes, I would love for people to like set a 10-minute timer, turn off their phone, their smartphone, and just look at the blank screen for 10 minutes.
Like tilted
recognize-
away so that you're not just looking at yourself in the reflection.
Right. Because you can get distracted with that too, with reflections.
Yeah.
Just looking at the blank screen and recognize, to a degree, this is what you do all day long.
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, what is an even more extreme way to get rid of your distractions? Just get rid of your distractions.
To have zero options for distractions.
Yeah, I watched a movie recently called True Story. Interesting movie. And it shows a lot of scenes of a guy in prison. And it really gives you this sense that when you're in prison, you have nothing to do. And he didn't have like a guy sharing the cell.
It was
with
just
or
him
anything.
in there.
Yeah, and so he had pencil and paper, but you have very few options. You can sleep, you can do sit-ups, you can sleep.
But with the pencil and paper, he did have the option of doing something.
He wrote a whole lot and drew a whole lot. And I just thought, for artists, for people like you and me, what if we were to spend a day in a cell, essentially, where against our will, or maybe in this example, we're actually deciding to do this, you put yourself in a situation where you have literally no distractions. You've got nothing in your pockets, no phone, no laptop, no internet. If you want, you can have pencil, you can have paper. And I just thought that, for me, is something I'm actually really interested in messing with the idea of. If I could be behind bars, that is just, for myself, it's an interesting idea to want to get other perspectives like that. What would I do with that time? I don't plan to go like rob a bank or anything to make that happen, but it still would be kind of cool to visit like a local prison or something.
Like,
and
what
see
would
I
they
could
do
get
if you
in
just
there.
walked up there with a camera and were like, hey, can I spend a night here? Or would they just be like, get out of here?
Yeah, I would almost want to, but I also feel that for right reasons, a lot of people listening to this would be like, this guy is just stupid, like ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I am both of those things.
This is true. I kind of like taking that idea another step further of not just going in there with nothing, just because, like, what are you doing? You're just proving to yourself, like, oh, I can sit in a room and do nothing for 24 hours. Maybe
Right.
I'll sleep a lot. But
Which alone could be a good.
it could be, yeah, for sure. But for me, I wanted to take it to the step of what's the thing that you're trying to do or get done. And so if that's like, I want to write more to a story or a song, or
Yeah.
I want to draw more, anything that you're trying to get done, that's the only thing you take in there. And it's not like you take your phone or your laptop or anything like that, because that can also be a source of distraction, even if you're trying for it not to be.
Right.
But like you just take a pen and pad in there with you,
Or paint.
or paint.
Paint tools. Or a guitar.
And out of that 24 hours, how much do you actually do that thing when you have literally no other option?
I imagine you'd spend 3 hours being really productive, and then you'd be like, that was a great 3 hours. Can I leave now?
Right?
Because it's like
You feel like you've earned it.
you feel like you've earned it, but you have, 21 hours left to go.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, you probably have a lot you could learn in the next 21 hours
Yeah.
of really just staying in this thing.
Yeah.
If you think about those 3 hours, if you leave, you might spend another 24 hours or more before you spend another hour or two being productive on this stuff, because you feel so good about that 3 hours. But if you stay in there in just 3 or 4 more hours or 2 or 3 more hours, you might put more time
You
again.
might be like, take a step back during your time there, and then you're recharged in less time than you think it would take for you to be
and you're
recharged.
doing another creative session.
Yeah.
Because you've given yourself no other options.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not usually an advocate of just like putting ourselves in situations that is almost like punishing ourselves or putting
Just
ourselves through
why make life
hardship.
like suck just for no reason?
Yeah. So this is something that I think would be fun, not like not like I'm putting myself through hardship because that's great or whatever.
Just to show you that you can take it.
But here is really where I'd like to take this. Imagine building that little cell for yourself in your living room. Your spouse will probably think you're crazy. Your kids will think you're a lot of fun and a very curious person.
You can build little cells for them too.
Little, oh, geez. Let's not call them cells.
Probably.
But I think if you were to get enough cardboard boxes together, and dear Lord, please know that I am being so serious, anyone listening to this. You get cardboard boxes at whatever store sells them, or Amazon or whatever, and you put them together and you build a little room. However you can make that happen. I haven't really looked it up. Maybe go to YouTube or Google and see if there's a tutorial. I don't know. Get your cardboard room, maybe like 6 feet by 6 feet or something, and just don't leave. You can't leave. And it might even help sell the effect if you have like carpet in your house or whatever the flooring is. Don't even let yourself see the flooring. Put down a cardboard floor as well, so that you are in a different environment. You're able to maybe let the old environment that you're in disappear for a second while you put yourself into this experiment of trying to gain new perspective.
I also mentioned doing it outside and just like taking the roof off.
Right. Yeah, no roof, put yourself under a tree or something. You know, if you get bored enough, you can lay down and have something to look up at. Maybe take a pillow in there with you.
Yeah.
But what a weird idea. I think I really want to try it. I'm happy that we came up with this today.
Well, if that happens, it will be filmed. It needs to be filmed.
Oh, jeez. I guess
3 hours in, you're just like,
yeah, for the two of us, I guess it does need to be filmed. But anyone out there, honestly, I think this would be a cheap and fun way to put yourself in a situation where you can just test yourself. If you're like me and you're bad with your time management, give it a go.
So does that mean you'd be up for the whole 24 hours?
Awake?
Yeah.
No, I doubt it.
Okay.
I don't think there's any way I would do that.
Yeah, that'd be a bit intense.
You got to sleep. Get your beauty sleep, wake up in the morning feeling bright and beautiful. And
Just
keep
don't sleep
creating.
through the entire thing.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
wouldn't that be some challenge? You're just like, I'm going to stay in this box for 24 hours. Then you just like wake up at the end of the 24 hours.
Feeling like you gained so much,
Yeah,
by the way.
I am enlightened.
Who's going to do this first? You going to do this or I'm going to do this? One of us has got to do this, and we're not doing it together.
What are we doing?
The box idea.
Oh, I thought,
Where is your head at?
I thought you moved on somewhere else. We could just not talk about it, and then eventually one of us is going to come to the other and be like, I did it.
We've talked about it. That is what this is.
I mean, like, not say like, hey, I'm doing it on Friday. We don't have to coordinate box schedules.
Okay. That's good. Well, if one of us goes first, we can recycle the boxes to the other person.
There you
Hand me
go.
down style.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Cool.
That was Big Box Idea, and Cameron's typing on a typewriter in the background, but I'm just going to keep on recording this. So thank you all for listening. We really hope you got a lot out of this episode and the episodes to come. Speaking of which, be on the lookout for next week's episode. We filmed like a travel thing because I was away in Cancun doing a videography job. Some other things to be sure to check out though is go ahead and check out our music on Spotify or Apple Music or basically anywhere else that you stream music. We just released a new song called Second Sight. It's real good. Make sure you check it out. And if you like this, you can subscribe on our YouTube as well. We've got lots of different types of videos coming out and a lot of things in the works. So yeah, thanks all for listening. I hope this podcast leaves you with some good ideas. Till then.